Let's be honest, saving for your first home in Canada feels harder than ever. Prices are high, rent keeps climbing, and even with a decent income, saving for a down payment can take years. That's where the FHSA comes in. In this video, I will walk you through what it is, how it works, and how it can bring you closer to owning your first place, even if it still feels out of reach right now. So without further ado, let's get into it. The First Home Savings Account is a Canadian registered account designed specifically to help first-time homebuyers get ahead. When you contribute to an FHSA, you get a tax deduction just like an RRSP, your money grows tax-free like a TFSA, and when you're ready to buy your home, you can withdraw it all, again completely tax-free. To be eligible to open an FHSA, you must be 18 years or older, you must be a Canadian resident with a valid social insurance number, and you must be a first-time home buyer, which the Canadian government defines as you haven't lived in a home you owned at any time this year or in the previous 4 calendar years. This is where it gets tricky and causes a lot of confusion for many people. You can technically own a home and still qualify as long as you haven't lived in it during the 4-year window. Think of it like this. If it's 2025 and you haven't lived in a home you owned since before 2021, you qualify. Let me give you an example. Meet Maria. Maria bought a home in Toronto in 2016 and lived in it until the end of 2019. Since 2020, she's been renting. Because she hasn't lived in the home she owned from 2020 through 2025, she qualifies to open an FHSA in 2025. Now, what are the contribution limits? For the annual limit, you can contribute up to $8,000 per year. And for the lifetime limit, the most you can ever put in is $40,000 total. Once you're ready to use your FHSA, there are a few conditions you need to follow. The home must be located in Canada and considered a qualifying home. This includes houses, condos, townhomes, and similar types of properties. You must plan to live in the home as your main residence, meaning you cannot use it as a rental or investment property, and you need to move in within 1 year after buying or building the home. There are also time limits to keep in mind. The FHSA isn't meant to be open forever. Here's what you need to know. You can keep the FHSA open for up to 15 years from the day you open it. It also must be closed by December 31 of the year you turn 71. Even if 15 years haven't passed yet. If you haven't bought a home by then, you have 2 options. First is to transfer the money to your RRSP or RRIF. This is tax-free and lets your savings keep growing. Second is to withdraw the money, but you'll have to pay income tax on whatever you take out. Now let's go over the key benefits of the FHSA. First is tax savings on the way in. Contributions reduce your taxable income, meaning every dollar you put in lowers your taxes for that year. And when you take the money out to buy your qualifying home, you don't pay any tax on it. It's like having an RRSP for depositing and a TFSA for withdrawing. Next is carry forward room. If you can't use the full $8,000 one year, that room rolls over to next year. So you could contribute more than $8,000 in a later year if you had leftover room. Just remember, the most you can ever put in 1 year is $16,000, your $8,000 limit plus another $8,000 carry forward. Next is combined with other plans. The FHSA works alongside other savings plans. You can still contribute to an RRSP or a TFSA separately. Also, when you buy your home, you could use FHSA savings plus the home buyer's plan, which now allows up to $60,000 from an RRSP if needed. Next is ease of use. You can open an FHSA at most major banks, credit unions, or investment firms, just like a TFSA or RRSP. There's even an online calculator from the CRA to see how much you might save. Now let's go over the most common FHSA mistakes and how to avoid them. First is overcontributing. Remember, your total contributions plus any RRSP transfers for a year can't exceed your limit. If you go over $8,000 or exceed your room in a year, you'll pay a 1% penalty each month on the excess amount. For example, Don't mistakenly think that you can put $8,000 and another $8,000 in the same year into two different FHSAs. It's $8,000 combined. Always track your contributions. If you do overcontribute, remove the excess as soon as possible. Next is forgetting the carry forward rule. Some beginners assume they can only ever deposit $8,000 a year. In fact, if you don't deposit the full $8,000 one year, you can catch up later. But you cannot exceed $8,000 of unused room in future years. In other words, your extra room caps at $8,000 per year. For example, if John had saved only $2,000 in year one, he had $6,000 carry forward and could put up to $14,000 in year two. But he couldn't put $20,000 in year three because the most he could ever do in 1 year is $16,000. The $8,000 annual limit plus an $8,000 carry forward. Next is mixing up TFSA and FHSA rules. Do not treat an FHSA like a TFSA. FHSA room only starts accumulating after you open an account. Unlike a TFSA where you get room from age 18, you won't have FHSA room until you actually open an account. So open early if you can. Next is ignoring RRSP transfers. You can transfer funds from your RRSP into your FHSA to speed up saving. But watch out, those transfers count toward your $8,000 limit. And because you already got a tax break when you originally put money in the RRSP, you don't get a new deduction when you transfer it. In other words, moving money from an RRSP to an FHSA doesn't give you an extra tax break. It just uses up FHSA room. So plan carefully if you do transfers, and always check that you have enough room left. Next is misunderstanding spousal rules. There are no joint FHSA accounts. Each person, once an FHSA, must open their own. A common mistake is thinking that you can contribute to your partner's FHSA or share an account. You cannot. However, this also means that a couple can save up to $80,000 combined by each maxing out their own accounts. Just be sure each partner reports their contributions separately. Only you can deduct money you personally contributed. In summary, the First Home Savings Account is a powerful tool for first-time buyers. It offers double tax benefits, deduction on the way in, tax-free on the way out, and you can supercharge your savings for a down payment. With a little planning, the FHSA can make saving for your first home faster and cheaper. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.